on this day, on the last day of Women's Month. So I think we're going to start in a bit. There's an amazing, beautiful lady that is in the house. You were not there. Girl, did you miss out? You did. But again, today we thought, let us have a moment to come together as women, phenomenal women that you are, and as a means and ways for EmpowaWorks and EmpowaWomen to say thank you and we salute you. But over and above that, I think one of the things that I've often said as far as Bubbles and Nibbles is concerned is that it is a movement of women for women and women that are about other women's business. And today, really, as much as it's going to be a chilled vibes, it's going to be very minimal conversations. It's going to be more about networking and making sure that the people that you missed last week, you didn't get to talk to them, you have an opportunity to hook up with them today and just have that conversation that you needed to have last week. But more than anything else, one thing that we've always said about EmpowaWomen is that we want to have impactful and real and tangible, connections where it's not one of those where it's just hi, go, bye, go, and then you take each other's numbers and you see each other next day again. That should not happen in this platform. It is also a platform of fostering sisterhood and to make sure that we take each other by hand as we move forward on this ladder. Because oftentimes it gets to be very cold and very lonely. And it gets cold and lonely because there aren't many people who are about us. So this platform is really about that. And today we're going to have a fantastic time. There's a couple of women that we're going to be honoring. And also we're going to have a couple of conversations with women that have also been in the game for quite a bit. But to welcome you good and proper, it's not me, it's none other than the amazing, the dynamic, the audacious, the beautiful, the gorgeousness, the amazing, and as we say it at EmpowaWorks, the brilliant, our general manager, none other than Dumi LaRue.
Oh, I can't now overdo that now, eh? The shoes are big to full. Good afternoon, ladies. Andisebahle. You all look so beautiful today. Please tell the lady sitting next to you how beautiful she looks. That's it, right? Yeah, I mean, it's such an honor to stand here and really welcome you all to our EmpowaWomen Soirée. I really think the purpose of today is to celebrate us as women, the different strides that we've made in our respective industries, the achievements, the challenges, all the crying and the celebrating. We all sit and gather here to be able to discuss those challenges and those successes and celebrate together. And it is what's going to be closing off Women's Month in style. The style, right? A lot of it. Ambience is there, entertainment is there, the drinks are there, and trust me, the food is going to be there. So once again, ladies, thank you so much for coming through. We are EmpowaWorks. We are a strategic creative marketing agency, and we've been around for the past 20 years now, servicing clients in the public and private sector. But over and above that, we've embarked on a journey of creating change that is sustainable. So we transform, we impact, and we grow communities that need that through women, and that's why we're all here today, through men, through youth and entrepreneurs, and soon embarking into personal finance. So this is nothing that's different to what we do here at EmpowaWorks. We are the catalyst when it comes to hosting great events, and I think you guys can all give us a round of applause, right? We're doing the most. But then again, we are creating spaces for us to be able to connect, to engage, and to collaborate. I think as we all embark on our different journeys, we have all created, significant change within our respective industries, but we need to then share some of those insights, and that's why we've got this platform to connect each other, to communicate, how we've been able to, embark and overcome all the things that we've been through, especially those of us that are working in male-dominated sectors. It's quite deep, There's a lot of things that happen that we need to discuss and encourage each other, and that's why we host platforms such as this. So when I do send you a mail or give you a call and ask you for a meeting, I'm not trying to bore you. We're trying to make sure that, we turn what is an event into something that's sustainable, and it doesn't become just another sharing of a drink, just another sharing of a meal, but it actually translates into something that's going to be impactful. And again, we as women are the change creators and change makers within all our communities. And again, I want you to embrace this moment. I want you to make sure that you're relaxed, you feel at home, you have a great afternoon, but within that enjoyment, that night enjoyment, make sure that you're exchanging numbers with someone who you're going to impact and allow them to unlock the next level of their life or their career. Ladies and gentlemen, EmpowaWorks would like to say thank you so much for taking time. I know we had you last week and you're here again. 2 weeks straight. We really, really do honor that, and we appreciate that you give us that time. And we'd like to say to you, make sure that you have a great afternoon. We're here to make sure that we're closing off Women's Month in style, and together I think we will be able to achieve much more. I will not be long. I think I'm going to cut it right here and hand back over to our MC. Like I said, I'm here to speak to you about youth. Zaz will speak to you about women. Kirsten, please wave over there. She'll speak to you about men. Sposh is not here. She runs our personal finance, but we will all do that on her behalf as well. Let's engage and make sure that we're creating sustainable impact. Thank you and welcome to EmpowaWorks.
Was I right or was I right? Right? Stick with me, Mina Shem. I'll make you famous. Or as we say, Gucci, I'll plug you with the right people. I think it would be really a mistake if today we do not honor the fallen heroes that we heard about today. I'm not sure if any of you have seen the news or have been on the socials. And I think one of the things that I really do appreciate more than anything else is women that have honored this platform, and women, when we went to them and we spoke about this platform, they raised their hands and they rallied behind us and they support this platform. When we had EmpowaWomen 2023, which was the inaugural one in Bryanston last year, we had Dr. Bishop Jessica Mbangeni being one of the people that participated on our platform. And she did amazingly well in terms of honoring the women that were there. But also, oftentimes when we go to different spaces, because we have also different stakeholders that we also honor and appreciate, she's always been that person that every time we would call and say, Jessica, we would like to honor so-and-so, she always just raised her hand and rallied behind us and supported us, irrespective of how short notice it is. And then I think it is befitting today for us maybe to just really stand up. And also I think Tabiso as well. I'm not sure some of you that know Tabiso from the media space. She's also been amazing as an actor and as well as the media personality, radio personality. If we could just all stand, just take really a moment of silence just to honor them today. I would really appreciate that. Thank you so much, ladies. I appreciate that. We may be seated. For the benefit of those who do not know who I am, I go by the name of Zazini Molo. And I often say people who like me, they call me Zaz. And depending where I stand with you, I'll know by how you decide to call me. And if you're struggling with Zaz, just think of something that has a pizzazz. That's me. Yeah, that's me. So today we're going to have really a good time. It's going to be fantastic. We're going to have literally very few formalities. And then from there, those buckets, they're going to be flowing somewhere in between. And also, if you are on diet, please, man, summer bodies are made in spring. Don't believe anything that they told you that summer bodies are made in winter. There's no such. I have doctors in the room. They'll tell you that in winter, your body needs food. You must eat so that it can regulate itself and keep you warm. And that time I have a flat stomach. Huh? Don't believe anything people say. Then they've said. But no, so we do have also, the wonderful, beautiful nibble bubbles and the nibbles there on the corner. And yeah, please do forget your diet for today, man. One day is not going to really change the price of butter. If you've been eating amagwenya and snook fish and chips like me and Coca-Cola, sorry, Nana, I didn't say Coca-Cola, and other drinks that are good for you, please make sure that today you drink water. Nana, did I say Coca-Cola? Okay. But with that said, let's honor Nana. Nana has been amazing from the CCBSA. Some of the bubbles that you have today and the drinks we had last week, CCBSA made them possible. When you're drinking Schweppes, every sip must be, this is to Nana. Nana, please stand up. Sukuma mkami bakubone. That's the mureki. And the reason why I had to do that, oftentimes we want to honor people when they're not around us. We want to honor people when they know more. We want to honor people and talk about how much they supported us and how much they believed in us and how much they've been the wind beneath our wings. Unana has been really supportive, and the CCBSA team, they've been supportive of our platforms. Every time we went to them and we said, we need money. There's young people that are in the Eastern Cape. They've started businesses and we need you to give them money. They've always really believed in us. And whether we went to the Northern Cape, they followed us there. And when we went to Northwest, they were there with us. And when we came back and said, okay, we local now, win the Val, they came with us. But also when I said, okay, I'm tired now of you giving other people money, can you give it to me and give me the drinks on top of that? And I'm that girl. Xhosa girl, you're not just going to give me drinks, depending mali. Because your drinks are going to only go that far. And then money is going to take me a step further. And then they did. They came through for us. And really, I just want to appreciate and honor them. And I do have some of our stakeholders in the room. Ausma P4 Femprong. She always makes sure that these platforms, and she keeps us in check. She's the lady that says, I'm going to give you money provided you go to the communities that nobody goes to. And she is real about that, and she's not joking. If you go to the peri-urban and rural areas and then you go and bring opportunities for those young people, she's always been supportive of us when it comes to that. And I just want to appreciate it today. But also, a number of the speakers that really supported us last week. And I know some of you had never heard of the platform EmpowaWomen. And some of you really just wanted to come and give. And we honored you. We honor you and we appreciate you. And I know some of the conversations that I was having, other people were like, so, rate card, who do I send it to? To Anita Ombaile. I'm like, nobody. No rate card. But also, you've been really quite amazing and wonderful in buying into the vision and understanding exactly what it is that we would like to build and we're trying to build with this platform. It is really a platform for women that are supportive of one another. And we also about dispelling this myth that says women don't like one another and women are not supportive of each other. And if you ever have to say anything about that, look in this room. And if I were to add, some of you, I sent you an invite, and you were like, can I bring 2 of my friends? I'm like, yo, black people. But it is a true testament of what EmpowaWomen is about. Where when you are given an opportunity to be part of something or a tribe that is bigger, you bring other women with you. Mamu Dilia, Sis Dilia rather. I say Mam Dilia because my mother is Mam Dilia, and it just sounds so wrong to say Dilia to her. It sounds so wrong because my mother's name is Dilia, right? And it feels like I'm calling my mom by her name. And one of the things that she also did last week or a couple of months ago when we invited her to also come and participate. And listen, Mrs. Delia is a big deal, ne? You guys, you mustn't take me small. She's the chairperson, board, yes, at Deloitte. You see, and let me tell you why I'm mentioning that. The reason why I'm mentioning that, she participated last year as one of our speakers. And this year when we went back, we're like, Cecilia, come back. She's like, no, I'm not coming back this year. However, what I'm going to do, because I understand what this platform is about, I'm going to sponsor 2 women that are going to come and participate because I also want them to have this experience. If that is not a true definition of EmpowaWomen, I don't know what is. With that said, Sister Leah, please come join me. Because I want us to have a conversation about that as to what got you into that. And DJ, ngicela ungangiyeki ngedwa shame as Sister Leah ngitshela Sister Leah is an important person in South Africa. Ngicela umdlalele ingoma emnandi. Can I have an extra? May I please have an extra mic? Thank you. Yes, abantu Nkosi yami, just because I'm from Velcom and you want to prove to people who I used to eat Puzamandla growing up, you have to just play that song all the time. You were supposed to play it only once. But it's okay. Welcome, Sister Leah. And thank you so much. They're going to bring you a mic. And I think the reason why I really wanted us to have this chat today, it is mainly around some of the stuff that you've done and the work that you continue to do for other women. And I'm reminded as well of that moment after EmpowaWomen, we bumped into each other at Standard Bank Top Women. And what you said to me that day, it just really affirmed me. I'm generally an affirmed person, but you affirmed me more. In your words, let me try and remember what you said. You said to me, I am so glad that I had been part of EmpowaWomen this year and also to contribute because I've always wanted platforms of this nature so I can be able to give more of myself. I do. And I think what I want us to really talk about now is to, what was that like for you? Just really for the purpose of this audience. What has been life been like since that moment up to today for you?
So, first of all, let me say it's an honor and a privilege to be here. It's always good to be in the company of women. Breakthroughs often happen when you are in the company of amazing women like we have today. And I also want to honor the fallen women and just say, may the memory of their lives always be a blessing. I'm glad that you did that at the beginning. Just in terms of your question, I think life is always busy, right?
Yeah.
And what I have learned throughout my career is that there is no work-life balance necessarily. It is just life, right? Because if you're at home, you're thinking about work and so on. But what I continued to do was to continue to pay it forward. So from EmpowaWomen, I met so many mentees.
Oh, wow.
So many mentees. And I remember in the session that I was in, I gave out my number and everyone went, why would you do that? Give your cell phone number. And it never stopped ringing. And it was an
such an honor for people to ask me to be their mentor, and we've done amazing things like connect them to activities that we do at Deloitte, such as the Academy of Governance, and just open up my networks to them. So it was divinely purposed that I participated in EmpowaWomen. So thank you for the opportunity. Yeah.
Thank you. It was really just an honor for us just to have you. And ngithe kunina ngiyiplug futhi mina ngisiyiplug main switch. I'll hook you up. So I think one of the couple of things that I really wanted us to talk about, you've touched a bit on it, which is the mentorship and as well as the sponsorship. What has that been like for you in your career at Deloitte? What have been the moments that you look back and that made you to get to a point where you decided that when I get to a certain point of my career, I want to do that for other women as well?
No, thanks for that question, Zez. So my friend over there, Kosi, who I grew up with, was laughing at me and saying, "Wenapela, you're a stalwart of Deloitte. You've been there for like 30 years, like a tree planted by the water or something." She's quite funny, very comical. But essentially just marveling at the idea of a 30-year career in one organization, both locally and globally, and holding leadership positions. I've been blessed, I think. So I don't take that for granted. It's literally a case of there by the grace of God goes I, literally. But I think the theme has been that throughout my career, I've come across sponsors, mentors, coaches, therapists as well, and allies in men as well. So Deloitte has always had a sponsorship wave program in terms of which, if they identify you as someone that's got potential and a future leader, they will match you with appropriate coaches and mentors. And for me, I've found, so the difference between a mentor and a coach is really that you can have as many mentors as you like, and each one of them will bring their experience to bear to help you open up their networks for you. And I found people like Abu Sisfuti, who was the Deloitte chair prior to me, who is still to this day my mentor, someone that I can cry on her shoulder, and a whole lot of other mentors bringing different things in my life. And then also, what surprised me is that with the generational gap, is that the young people also, the ones that I met at EmpowaWomen, mentor me.
Oh, wow.
About their new world that I don't necessarily understand because they know a lot, because they're on social media and things that I'm not on. And they connect me and plug you, like you, Zez.
Yeah, they plug.
Exactly. So, and coaches I've used throughout my career. For example, when I went to London and I felt completely lost, it was going to Deloitte, same set of values and everything, but I missed the sense of belonging. I missed the people at home, just, the South Africanness. The British are very different. And I had to use a coach to help me with how do I network in a market like London. And also coming back home, I found that a whole lot of my peers had moved on with their lives. It was literally like 4 years, but people had already, started new lives, gone on with their lives. And I had to use a coach to assimilate myself into life back home.
Okay.
Which I didn't expect. So the sponsorship wave helped me. And sponsors are powerful in the sense that they happen to be people who are powerful, and they are in spaces and rooms that you can't be in, and they can be your voice and speak on your behalf. That's what people like Sisfuti did for me.
Okay.
And then allyship is something that we often forget, that, as women and men, when we stick together, we rise together.
Yeah.
So it's very important to have men as we advance ourselves as women. So
Thank
that's
you so
important.
much. You see, I'm checking the men that are in the room that are sitting on the stage. It's very important to have the men in the room.
Yes,
A round
it
of
is
applause for that.
for them. Yeah, exactly. They are our token males.
Yeah.
Very important. Yeah.
Thank you so much. You know, as you're speaking about sponsorship for women and with people who speak for you in rooms that you may not necessarily have access to, I was shook a couple of days ago. I'm not going to mention where I was because then people would know, but Asma Pifo, I'm not even looking at you. I was shook in a conversation that was held sometime during the week where the facilitator was talking about a number of women that she was talking to, and then one of them was saying she will not open doors for anybody purely because she struggled to get herself into those doors. Number two, because those relationships are so important to her, and she believes that everybody else need to earn their keep. And having said that, and I think I was shook because, and I even made an example. I said, where I come from, firstly, I was born in the 70s. I grew up in the 80s and the 90s. And where I come from, we have only two traffic lights. And my mother's neighbors, when there's a funeral, they still come to my mother and borrow or ask to use her fridge. And when others are hosting and they don't have a table or a coffee table or a TV for that matter, they come and borrow one from my mother. And it's a known thing. And when they don't have milk and sugar and tea, it's something that happens. So that for me I was quite shook as to what really gets us to be like that as women, where you're saying, I've earned this, and therefore other people must earn it as well. What do you have to say about that?
First of all, I think it's really unfortunate. It's regrettable that we sometimes end up like that. I've come across it myself. I call it toxic femininity.
Okay.
Where we then, if you are in a male-dominated space, you now lose your femininity and you try to be like the men. I've been in instances where I will be protecting a woman, fighting for her, being that sponsor for her, and then she would say, the mentee or whoever it is that I'm fighting for, turn around, turn on me, and then say, I don't want to work for a woman boss.
Sure.
So it's I think it's really unfortunate. That for me, what I would encourage women to do is to say, keep your femininity intact. Don't try to emulate the men.
Okay.
We bring different things, our empathy, our intuitive perceptiveness. That is a powerful asset in business. The soft power that we bring is not weakness, right? So I think it's a mistake actually to end up trying to say, I worked for this, and so I'll go up the ladder and then kick it. You will see for yourself and try on your own. It is a huge mistake. It sets us back as women, unfortunately.
Sure. Nina Mara. Mkitengani plaga mara noma niva ama watwat. This
says it has to be spontaneous. It has to be spontaneous.
Maybe they still shook. And I think, okay, your career has been marked with numerous leadership roles and achievement. And I think what I want to understand from you is that the NGOs and community initiatives that you also been part of, what led to that? Because I think oftentimes, like you say, the balance thing does not often work. It's not often possible. But you've been able to do that so well. And I oftentimes hate it when women are asked that question, because you never hear men being asked that question as to how do you balance it all. And I guess maybe I'm projecting because I hate the question, right? But I think I would like for us to have the conversation around that today to say, we are busy being busy, and you've been busy yourself, but social impact has been at the core for you. What led to that?
So I think there are two dimensions to how I'm going to answer you. So at the personal level and a professional level. So at a professional level, Deloitte's vision is to make a difference or an impact that matters. So essentially what we're saying is we are using purpose to galvanize our efforts to make societal impact, to drive societal impact. So every service that we offer is permeated by purpose.
Yeah.
So if you think about tax, for example, which is my background, it is making sure that our democracy works, our democratic project in South Africa works. Without the money, you're not going to be able to do the societal impact that you need. So we make sure that all the tax is collected as it should be. The auditors, for example, in our business, that's purpose-led in that in a complex VUCA world like ours, where there's volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and everything, our clients are looking for somewhere to go, for someone to help them navigate all of that complexity, right? So what we are selling is trust, and that is purpose-led. So everything that we do, so when I go to work, I do not feel a cognitive dissonance in any way, because what the firm does resonates with the way I want to show up in the world, right? At a personal level, what I've found is, and I don't know where I picked this up as I was growing up. I don't know if it's because, the next street from my mom's house was the Orlando Children's Home where we used to play.
Okay.
So maybe from that age, I started picking up this idea of there are people who have less than, who have been thrown away, and we need to do something. So there was something I could do as a child at the time, was to go play with them. But to be honest, I actually wanted their toys, because toys and things to play with. But what I found about doing that, and I've now started a shelter in Benoni, and I'm working with the Benoni welfare. And I think many people are doing that. That doesn't make me unique. The reason I do it is that it helps me to do something bigger than myself. So when I feel depressed and I feel down, and I go to the shelter, I go to Orlando Children's Home, it is so therapeutic. It is so healing, because then it gives you perspective. So that's why I do it. So I don't feel like it's a heavy burden of having to balance anything, to be honest.
Oh, wow. Thank you. So when you mentioned tax, and that is a word that we don't mention at Bubbles and Nibbles.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
but no. But I really want us to get into that as far as women are concerned. I think oftentimes those are the conversations that we hardly ever have, right? Purely because some of us are not even familiar as to what does that even mean. And maybe women that are seated in this room, they are aware what that means.
Yeah.
But I think for me, what I wanted to know is that why tax of all the things?
Why tax?
Why tax and legal advisory of all the things?
Because I think I've always wanted to be an expert at something. And for me, it's the problem solving aspect, the analytical aspect, the intricacies of interpreting law, because tax is law.
Okay.
Since you asked specifically, so that's why for me that is the rush. And as you go up in your career, you do less and less of the technical, but more and more of leadership.
I get you.
Which, when I became head of tax and legal at Deloitte, it was a defining moment. It was lovely in that I enjoyed the people side of things. and defining a vision and getting people behind a vision, making sure that, the transformation agenda is delivered upon and all of those things, while at the same time keeping my technical alive.
Wow, thank you so much for that. So I'm going to open up a couple of questions for the ladies that are in the room. And don't ask for a number, my sister, that you're going to get granted. Ask for, ask that question that you've always thought, the day ngihlangana no sisi ophethe iDeloitte na umbuzo engizobuza. Yebo, noma ubuza ukuthi imali bayibeka kuphi. Yebo, into is progressive. Noma icode yemali ihlela kubani. Yebo, or things like those. But like on a more serious note, I would like to open up how many by show of hands questions? Okay.
One.
Sibu, I see you. I see you, Sisi, on this table, and another one that side.
Thank you. Hello, ladies. Hello, Mom Delia.
Hello.
As someone who grew up in Orlando, facing apartheid head on, 1976, your brother's there, everything's happening around you. What in your life told you that you could be this successful one day?
Sure. So thank you so much for that question. I think I've been blessed in that I grew up in a household of 3 people. My dad, who was an activist for the PAC. So he instilled in me the value of justice, fighting for what is right. My mom, who believed in the transformative power of education, that I could always be better. My grandma, who I think instilled in me resilience and determination and fighting for what you want. As a girl from Limpopo, she tried to get into nursing as a career. And at the time, Black people were not allowed to go into Coronation Hospital to go and train as nurses. And so she, I suppose it was a bit dishonest because she was light complexion. She said she's a colored woman, and she got in and she did her nursing. So that's what I grew up with in terms of values. And I went to a school with Kosi over here, Dr. Kosi. Thank you. And we were at a school called PACE, which stands for Project for the Advancement of Community Education. It was in the heart of Soweto in Jabulani. And we had amazing teachers that I believe instilled in us this can-do mentality. We were surrounded by squalor at the time in Soweto from our communities, and that they showed us possibilities of what's possible, what you can become. And a lot of them came from overseas. Some were white and so on. So it sort of allowed us the space to dream that we can be bigger than where we come from, and that our background doesn't have to define us. She can attest to that. I have a witness here. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon, Mam Deli. Good afternoon, ladies. My name is Pauline. I am former executive director, now NED for Nagara, an IT global company. It's a multinational. I'm seeking for pearls of wisdom from you because I heard you said that you once headed the legal and tax department in Deloitte. One of my focus areas is compliance, legal, taxes included, finance, governance, the whole. How would you, I have exhausted most of my strategies to convince multinationals in the private sector in terms of transformation. The only reason they do certain things is because regulation requires it. I am asking your pearls of wisdom in terms of how would you regulate or convince them, because yes, it helps them to stay in the company, but to go beyond what regulation requires.
Yeah.
Because that is it's very close to my heart, but I'm struggling.
Yeah.
And I'm getting the bare minimum from the board.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I feel that. I hear you. And I agree with you that it's more than compliance. It's actually about commitment. So I'll give you an example of when I headed the tax and legal department at Deloitte. Our CEO had set a target to say that we will be 51% represented, black, I don't want to say black owned, but have black representation, partners that are 51% of the total number of partners. And every service line has to be like that. So when I got into the tax department, our statistic was a dismal 32% of the partners were black. And that didn't sit well with me. And I had to, so one of the important things to realize is that this is not a destination, it's a journey, right? And you have to persuade. So most of our colleagues at the time understood the need for transformation from a cognitive perspective. So it was a brain thing for them. They understood that if you don't reach your BEE status, the right level, you're not gonna get work. So it hadn't dropped down to the heart. So the work entailed, having one-on-ones with them around the importance of understanding that if we do this transformation, it's gonna make the pie bigger. To try and get that to move from compliance to commitment. But also I think the intellectual curiosity, so making each leader to be intellectually curious about different perspectives, different cultures, and making them realize that actually when you do that, that's cultural intelligence. And using statistics to show them that cognitively diverse as well as demographically diverse teams perform better. It's a business imperative. It makes sense, right? And making in the boardroom, it's trickier because you find people saying stuff and careless stuff. I say the courage as a board member to call out things like, for example, I once heard someone say someone is girly in a boardroom, right? So I think we're duty bound as females and black people in the boardroom to call those things out in the moment, to say, what do you mean by girly? What standard are you using? Are you using a masculine standard to determine the person's boardroom presence? So it's very important to have the courage to do so. And I know it's not easy, but that's what I would encourage you to do. Okay, thanks. Hopefully we're done.
And call each other out in these rooms here. There's one more that side.
Good afternoon, ladies. You all look absolutely beautiful. I'm Delia. I am Solofelo Poko. I'm a senior actuary at an insurance company. And the question before mine actually is a great segue into my question, which is how do you balance, particularly in the type of spaces you're in, who you are authentically and who you have to be to get the message across? And I don't intend for the question to be long-winded, but just to give an example is I can't walk in and say, that's not right. You can't say that. And it's a very delicate balance of getting what you need out of it and still trying to remain authentically yourself, which isn't always a welcome character in the room. So how do you manage this?
I understand, but firstly, I just want to congratulate you. Actuaries are like the purple unicorns, very, very rare breed. So well done on your accomplishments. I'm so proud of what you've managed to achieve in a male-dominated world. So It's a very difficult question that you're asking me, because often when I'm asked, what is your advice to women, I'll often say, show up authentically as yourself, right? And what you're actually saying is, how do you do that? So what I mean by that is that often women, if you're a leader, they will say, or whether or not you're a leader, they'll say, you are too emotional, you are too this, you are too emotional, or you are too tough, you are too weak sometimes, you're too nice. So you can never really be authentically yourself. Of course, authenticity evolves, right? So you will adapt, you'll read the room as well. But it is the thing we were talking about with Zez earlier around, if you want to wear pink shoes and a pink dress into a boardroom, do so. You don't have to always be wearing a pinstriped whatever. And then there is also the thing around, unconscious bias. Sometimes, so I was saying call out things. But sometimes if it's your boss, of course, you don't want to be doing career limiting things, right? But what I found, most leaders, mature leaders that are self-actualized, when you pull them aside after the meeting and not embarrass them and say, you do realize the impact that your words had on me. If they're emotionally intelligent, they'll hear you and think about it. So you've preserved their dignity, you've waited for the right moment and say, actually, when you said X, Y, Z, this is how it impacted me. It made me feel like this. You're not talking about them necessarily. You're talking about your feelings, and you are the expert of your own feelings. They cannot argue with how you felt, right? So, and if they are smart leaders, they will listen to you. And the other thing about women is that I say, show up authentically, be you, don't lose your femininity, but also deliver the result. Right? It's absolutely important for you to show that you can be, a person that delivers like the men, and then more, and then some. That's all I'll say and stop there. Zez did promise us that today is not about talking, it's about networking. So I'm ready to network.
Thank you. Do you have another question? Or we sorted, we get... Okay. Oh, they saying, they signaling that the number.
Let's network.
We are going to network. And thank you so much, Cecilia,
Zez.
for your time. I really appreciate it. And as EmpowaWomen, as EmpowaWorks, we grateful to the work and as well as the support that you continue to show us, and as well as showing up. I think there's something else when somebody says show up for other women, but you've continued to show up for other women. And when you've had an opportunity to plug other women, you didn't shy away from that. You did exactly that. And I think for me, that's something that just really just warms my heart to say we are grateful as the women of South Africa to be led by a woman like you, but also to know somebody like you, but also to look up to somebody like you. We often talk about representation, and you are doing it so well. We feel well represented by you.
Thank you, Zez. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
We see you. This gentleman, Cecilia, this gentleman here, in a white T-shirt is going to say you walked without giving him a picture. So with...
But it's unfair. When you are so slim and me, I'm like...
The trick is you must eat amagwinya.
Oh.
Another round of applause for Cecilia and Ndlovu, ladies. Thank you so much, Cecilia. And we move. Like I said, the program today is very, very short. It is about the bubbles. And we're getting there very, very quickly. Before we get to that part of the program, I'm going to call Kirsten Alexander. Kristen, she is the strategist for Empower Works. And if you see us writing amazing and beautiful proposals and that proper English, that is Englishing, that makes you, wanna give us the sponsorship. Yeah, no, it's because of that lady, you see. Her English is very Englishing. And if I were to give you a tip, get yourself a person in your team whose English is very Englishing, like Kirsten Alexander. And but also she does so amazingly well. She does amazing things for this organization. When you see me speak at other events and I keynote and I speak big English, you must just know it's not my English at all. See, another plug. You must get yourself a white friend. Over to you, Chris. This part, Kristen, really it is about we are gonna be honoring a couple of ladies, and Kristen will give you more background as to what led to that.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Az. Your English is really not bad, I must say. Not bad. You'll do. Yeah, we're no strangers to awarding people at EmpowaWorks. We have we look at people who've achieved incredible things. We've done an award ceremony for Dr. John Kani, who we all adore, the late Richard Maponya, Felicia Sathumubuze. And today we thought we're going to focus it on women who have been leading the way in various different sectors and in different ways. And EmpowaWomen is all about lift as you rise, as you heard from Delia. And it's about those connections and enjoying each other and taking each other along on the journey. I'm going to need someone to assist me here. Dee. Concentrate, child. So we have a number of awards that are happening today. And yeah, let's just bring them up. I'll let Dumi choose who's first. The top one, yeah, in no specific order. And this is a woman that we have worked with quite extensively, and she's been incredible support to EmpowaWorks and Empower Youth in particular. So I'd like to call up Mapefo and her Frempong. We are awarding you the Lift as You Rise. I did see you somewhere. Here you are. And this is an award that recognizes a woman leader who has empowered and mentored other women, embodying the spirit of elevating others. Now, Mapefo has done this for not just other women, but for youth as well. And we are eternally grateful to her for the incredible support that she's given us as an organization. Huge round of applause.
Thank you so much. Hello.
So deserving.
More in apparently.
More in.
Okay.
We have to pose.
What are we supposed to do?
Thank you. The man of the moment, the only one allowed on the stage. Totally deserved. Oh, it's my people. We're calling you back.
Oh, calling me back?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I'm supposed to say something. Thank you so much. I believe we don't do work to get awards, but we do what we are called to do to make a difference. I was just reflecting on a lot of unsung heroes out there that this award for me represents them. It is not for me alone. I believe it is for the institution as a whole, but it is for many young people, starting with Dumi, that really show up, and show up not only for themselves, but show up for others. It is amazing how, in the midst of difficult conditions of unemployment in this country, that young people, when they are called to come to an Empower Youth event, and they come and stand in queues, about 2 kilometers long queues, the mindset we have of an unemployed child is that they are lazy, is that they really are not committed. But I must say, every place we have gone to, we have found young kids that show up to a point that if we say the line stops here, they would say, no, we are not going back home. And these kids would force me and Simpiwe to make decisions about having to increase the meals, having to get the seats at short notice, and they would sit down until the seats arrive. They would sit down until meals are provided. And it just gave me a picture that unemployed youth in South Africa are not lazy. They didn't choose to be born into conditions and situations that they've been born in. And all of us collectively can make an impact and help these kids. So this to me is just, I don't know what to say. But thank you so much.
Let's give her another round of applause. Really deserving. Delia, we've already spoken to you. We've already told you how much we love you, but we want to tell you again. So we'd like to award Delia Ndlovu the Thought Leader Award. She's demonstrated exceptional foresight, strategic thinking, and innovation in driving business success. I think we can all agree that she is definitely a woman deserving of great applause and an award. Delia. Thank you. Thanks. Did you do the photo thing? Yes. Delia, I know you've already had a long chat, but I'm sure we'd like to hear just one sentence from you.
Sentence from me. Thank you so much. This is unexpected. I'm breaking at last. Just to say. For all of us, I'm accepting this award on behalf of all of us, on behalf of all those women striving, who are continuing with the struggle in the boardroom. I am accepting it on behalf of my children at the shelter, at all the orphanages who are trying to break free from where they are. And yeah, this is a good day that the Lord has made. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Delia. Definitely breaking glass ceilings. Breaking barriers. The next award is for a very dynamic young lady, young woman, social impact leader. I'd like to call Sibu Mabena up onto the stage. Sibu, this award recognizes a woman who has made a substantial positive contribution to society through her work. Also through her fashion sense, I think. She's looking gorgeous today. Round of applause for Sibu. Don't drop it now. Oh my
God. Oh, if my mom was here, she'd be so happy. Because mommy Guys, no, me. I'm just a fish swimming. I really am just doing what I've been called to do, which is really cool things and get paid for it and bring a lot of people along on the journey. But thank you for recognizing this. I'm so touched. Oh, thank you. Because working with 52 young people every day, and especially on the 30th when it's time to pay, it really takes a lot out of a person. So I'm really, really grateful to be honored. This is so, oh my God, thank you. And this is happening in front of so many women I admire. Like, I really admire Amam D. Like, what? I don't know what to say. That's why I'm so disorganized, disoriented. But thank you. And yes, this is the day the Lord has made. Even though I didn't know it was coming. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you.
Here is Gugu. This award goes to a woman that we've done quite a bit of business with, who we really enjoy. And I must say, she's no stranger to getting awards. The Trailblazer Award goes to Gugu Ngise. Come up here. And this is recognizing a woman who's broken new ground in her industry, challenging traditional norms, and paving the way for future female leaders. And she's done it in quite a tough industry. Thank you. A couple of words from you.
Good afternoon. You know, when you're late, you're not supposed to say anything. But thank you so much for this award. I appreciate it. I think it represents the resilience and my willingness to learn continuously, but also influence other people as I do that, and I love it. Thank you so much.
We have a very delicious award now. This is an interesting one. We have the Gastronomic Entrepreneur Award. I'm sure you'll all appreciate this. This is for Naomi Lele Wacheko. Are you here, Naomi? You are here? Please come up on stage with us. And this recognizes a woman entrepreneur who has successfully established a thriving restaurant business, demonstrating culinary excellence, business acumen, and a commitment to community engagement. I don't know if any of you have been to her restaurant on Vilikazi Street, but perhaps you need to go now to experience what this woman has done in the culinary space. Naomi.
The restaurant is 1947, and I promise if you go eat their food, their carbs don't make you fat.
Oh, ladies. Okay, EmpowaWorks, thank you very much for this. Totally unexpected. I feel so honored. Somebody asked which place. It is 1947 on Vilakazi Street. Oh, thank you. What do I say? This award can't be for me. I employ 39 people at the restaurant. Therefore, that this cannot be about me. But also, now that I have the opportunity and a moment on the stage, I think the restaurant is successful simply because I was able to convince those young people about my dream and my vision, and I had to sell it to them. And it's a continuous thing. And I always say to them, I know it is my dream, I know it is my vision, but if you make it yours, then it means 1947 will thrive. And I say to the waiters there, you have your own business inside my business. It means if you give good service, people come back, you have a job. 1947 will stay open. So, in fact, coming here, I left people there who wanted to talk to me about so many things, but I felt this is so important. Big surprise. But I'm also so happy that I am being honored in front of ladies and women who are so powerful. I've seen a few faces here, and I'm so honored. Thank you very much, EmpowaWomen. Really appreciate this. Thank you.
Thank you, Sis Lily. Okay. We have another one.
We have a lifetime award that we wanted to give out. The person who's receiving this award is not here, but she has recorded a video for us. She knows she's getting it. She had a previous engagement. This is a woman that really epitomizes what we do at EmpowaWomen. She is the true champion of Lift As You Rise. She has impacted so many women, many of you in this room today, and practically every woman I speak to who's had any touch point with the mining industry has had her beginning because of this particular woman. I'm going to ask Zaz to hold it up and say her name because I cannot pronounce her surname and I don't want to do it wrong.
This one goes to Dr. Phumzile Mlambo Ncuka.
I think we have a video coming up.
Greetings, and I'm sorry
There's a chair in
that
the way.
I'm
We
not
can't do that
with
to
you
her.
today, but I also want to wish you a happy Women's Month, even though we're at the end. I am just sending a message of gratitude, saying thank you for this award. And I would also like to dedicate this award to many women who uplift other women. I hope that all of you in this audience today will see it as an important mission for all of you to uplift other women and girls. Thank you so much for this.
Right, we are now going to allow you to communicate with each other, commune with each other, connect, drink lots of bubbles. But before we close off, I just want to say that this is a woman that we've just given a Lifetime Achievement Award to because she has made such a deep impact. And it's an impact that we want to do at EmpowaWorks in various different sectors, men, youth, women. So we'd love you to partner with us. We're not going to ask you to have a chat with us right now because it's time for bubbles. But get in touch with us and let's see how we can make a really great impact together.
Awards that we haven't mentioned today. Okay, so essentially today we wanted to really honor a couple of other women, but they couldn't make it. We had wanted to honor Dr. Felling Yende, who's also quite a dream weaver. And when we talk about someone who is a dream weaver, it is a woman who realizes other women's dreams, and those who necessarily don't have an opportunity to see them realize. She gives them the opportunity and as well as the space to be able to achieve those dreams. And we also had our Strifosa Ramano, who also couldn't be able to make it today. Our Strifosa Ramano, we really wanted to honor her as far as the business acumen that she really possesses and as well as holds. I think when we start talking about these awards, I was listening to Umamu Pumzile speaking on that video. One of the things I remember when we spoke during the week, she says to me, please accept my award and speak big English. I'm like, Mama, big English, me? No. Me, I am gonna let you record your big English and let it speak for yourself. But more than that, it was purely because the reason why we had to honor Umamu Pumzile, when we did our EmpowaWomen last year, she spoke about the importance of women lifting one another and the importance of women ensuring that they support each other. And then when we hosted Bubbles and Nibbles early in the year, we had women that are trailblazers who are doing amazing things in the mining space who happen to be MNTs. So we had to really practicalize as to who is this woman? And as much as she was the first, maybe even the only woman to ever make it into being the deputy president of South Africa, but she epitomized that position, but also she brought along many other women with her. And so I think with that, we really wanted to honor her with that Lifetime Award. We had to host Nene Mulefe, and I think most of you know her from Mandate, what was it? Mandate Mulefe Consultants. She's the CEO of that. She's very big in terms of, she's a champion of diversity and inclusion in different organizations and as well as different spaces. We also wanted to honor Unwabisa Makunga from Sowetan. We wanted to honor her as the media impact that she's also doing in that media space. So I think in a nutshell, we're saying next year, Bazalwan, yabona, next year, if we didn't honor you today, it does not necessarily mean that we do not see you. We see you in the spaces that you are in, the work that you do. And I often get this, oftentimes when people say, speakers fem, you wait your 10. And I say, but how are you going to find me? I'm like, if you're doing the work, trust me, we will find you. And that is exactly what EmpowaWomen and this platform and EmpowerWorks is about. It is finding people who are doing amazing, remarkable things and also honoring them. But also just to say, can we also work this journey together? Because it seems like our visions, they are aligning. And I know right now you're saying, Sisi, sikuzwile yazi, before nithi ningizwile, ngicela imali futhi. Futi, please. You saw Kay, you saw Kirsten Dumi. Before nginipha bubbles, yebo. Ningazothi, mina, I treat you, I gave you bubbles and I asked you for sponsorships and support and all of that. I want to ask you now, while you still, sober. So that when you're committing Guti next year, you're going to be partnering with us. You know, Guti, you were sober, and then you made a promise with me wearing a pink dress with nice pearls on the shoulders. A round of applause for my dress, please. No, but more on a serious note, the reason why we really we are in this space, for us, it is about understanding what are the issues that South Africa is facing. One of the issues that we've had for the longest of time now, it is youth unemployment in South Africa, and we can no longer afford to turn a blind eye. If you have opportunities, if you don't have money and you're saying, me, I have opportunities, I've got bursaries, I've got funding, I have jobs, I have whatever it is that you have, please do talk to us because we do need those opportunities. Whether it's 5 or 2 or 3 opportunities that you have at your disposal, I'm asking for them. Because Mina, I don't mind going to Northern Cape. We don't mind because Osma P4 demands of us to go to these areas. So we will go there and take these opportunities to those young people because it is important that we do so. But also, if you are about men, because some of you are, right?
Mina, I did say this morning, go to men are the hill I'm gonna die on. And as much as Beslupa, it's okay. We do have a platform for empowerment. And I know your brothers, your husbands, they often talk about going to a men's conference in Feb. That does not exist. Existing real men's conference at Empowerment. On the 16th of November, we're going to be hosting about 3,000 men at the Mosaic Theatre. We did it in April. And the conversations there were quite critical conversations that men needed to have. I mean, we're going to be talking about things like sexual consent, divorce from the main perspective, future of a boy child, fatherlessness, all these conversations that men need to have with other men without the woman in the room. And then we have also Empower Entrepreneurs. It is a platform that seeks to capacitate entrepreneurs irrespective of where they are on their journeys. If when you know ukuthi khona laba beka khona imali yama entrepreneurs, please talk to us, because we are in that business to make sure that we touching everybody irrespective of where they are at in their journeys, whether it's entrepreneurs. And if you are about, I know today is the 31st of August, tomorrow it's the 1st of September, two-pot system. Who are my friends here who are rich? Nobody ever rich, Lana. Two-pot system, I see you, I almost forgot. So I know that some of you are sitting here, you are like, yay, girl, next week I'm not here. Two-part system has kicked in. Those of you that also would like to have conversations with people like us who really who need help in terms of what to invest in, where to put our money, how to save, and all of that. We are in that business as well. In a nutshell, what I'm basically saying is that we've got something for everybody, whether you're a young person, you're an entrepreneur, you're a man, and EmpowaWomen. Hey, I forgot. And EmpowaWomen as well. It is a platform that really seeks to ensure that women break barriers and amongst ourselves. I mean, we often talk about breaking barriers when we get into the corporate space, but we never really talk about the barriers that we have as well in different industries and in different sectors. We are about breaking those barriers to make sure that we are able to penetrate spaces that ordinarily other women have not been able to penetrate. But over and above that, we are about building the sisterhood, holding each other's hand, keeping each other accountable. If you met people last week, and you spoke to them and you said you're going to mentor them, please stay true to that, because they need that. We need that. We need to be supportive of these young people that are coming after us. But more than anything else, if unama plug, if you are a plug, please just, one or two people, plug them. And because the only way that we know that these sectors that we often talk about them being male dominated, the only way that they would grow, it is if all of us in this room are intentional about creating opportunities for other women and hold their hands. And it's okay if you're not from Velcom and you all don't lend each other, coffee tables and fridges. It's okay, we get it. But can you just make sure that you open up opportunities for other people in the spaces that you are in? It's not going to take anything away from you. And with that said, let the party begin. Nabona mawuphethwe sisidilia nayo lento bokhuluma ngayo ukuthi bayakuphatha. Ngicela this table